going on, everybody? Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. This is the third time trying to make this video, but every time I get about halfway through, I get disrupted. Yeah, so I was home a couple days, was getting a PM done on a truck, and I needed my driver's seat fixed because it wouldn't hold air. They were able to get that done, but it was a day longer than originally anticipated. Which makes it hard. I mean, if you're dealing with the shops at terminals, it doesn't matter what company it is. They run at their own pace, and you're in line with a lot of trucks, so things happen. I was able to book the load at the location I am at now. It is Friday. I was hoping to leave yesterday, but again, delayed a little bit. So I got this load. Not a bad load, very light. Going to a Lowe's DC. Not far from where I live. I'm actually probably 3 miles from my house, but 18 miles from the terminal. Got over the terminal last night, got everything situated in the truck. That's where they wanted me to pick up an empty. Lo and behold, there weren't any. And for some reason, my Qualcomm was just running in slow motion last night. Tried to call. Took 2 hours to finally get someone to answer the phone. And while I was, just as I finally was able to speak to someone, another driver came in, company driver, and was dropping an empty trailer. I grabbed it. When I talked to the night dispatch or whatever they are, I told them, well, I was calling because there weren't any empties, but I just got one. Here's the trailer number, and they attached it to my truck. So, problem solved. As far as that goes, got up this morning. Normally, I don't fuel before I pick up a load because you never know what's going to happen, and I don't want to spend the money to get there and find out it was canceled, because the money that you get paid for showing up to a location and the load being canceled would not cover the total cost of that fuel. So, but this morning I did. I put 80 gallons in. A little over $200. I get here, my appointment's at 9. I got here at 8. Checked in, gave the information I had to the gentleman that was here. Nothing. Couldn't even find it in the system. So he asked me to wait till 9 because his clerk would come in that he figured would know more. She came in at 9. I went in and spoke to her. And the load was not in the system. Now, from what I was told originally, they didn't have a product to put the load together. Blah 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 blah. There's another driver here. He's waiting also. He was told the load wasn't ready, and his appointment was at 10. Now they got a security guard that runs around here. They sent security guard over to get us both to come in there. We did. He just wanted the pickup number to send over to their sales team. Because now the story is they're trying to expedite the release of these loads. So it's on Lowe's side. Lowe's has to give them permission to ship these loads. Now the problem I have, it's not that I've gotten a couple different stories on why I'm sitting here like I am, but it didn't mean that we're going to get loaded, because we're still sitting here. It just means they're trying to get these loads released to be shipped. Now the problem I have with this is this is, according to the lady I spoke to this morning, the second time I went in, her story, part of her story was that Lowe's supposedly had contacted or spoken with, or however they did it, to Schneider about working with them on these loads because they've been delayed. It looks like now, with the information we just got, Lowe's is the holdup, because Lowe's has to tell them to go ahead and release the load, which makes no sense to me. She said that they've had drivers come in and have to sit 2 or 3 days waiting on a load, which I can't and won't do. Well, I'll take that back. I don't want to do. And there's a reason for that. So I came back out of the truck. I sent a message the second time I went in there and talked to the clerk as to what was going on and what I was told. She, when I was talking to this lady, said that she was sending an email to customer service to let them know what was going on. I don't know if she did, because when I finally got a response back on the Qualcomm to my message that I sent, they wanted me to go in and get a phone number. These people do not like to give out phone information. They're nice people, but they're not going to do that. I guess they figure it's not their job to talk to the trucking company like that. I don't know. But anyway, Schneider customer service was supposed to figure this out. I'm still waiting on a response back from my BOA on that point, which I have not. But I mean, it was a confirmed load that was supposed to be ready. Again, my appointment was 9 o'clock this morning, and no, it's not happening like that. Now, if they won't release my load right now, it depends on when it will be ready to go as to what I do, because I came back out, and while I was waiting on a response back from Schneider, my BOA, I was on the load board, and there's nothing out here. Nothing till Monday. Unless something pops up, which happens, there's nothing here. So whether this load would be ready or not, I got nothing, nada. Things happen, but this, from the sounds of it, is normal here. So you would think, and I guess I'm just crazy, you would think that Schneider would verify that these loads are released, ready to go, whatever terminology you want to do, but they would verify before they list them on the load board as a confirmed load that they are indeed ready to go. Yeah, because it's a live load. It's obviously it's driving hook on the other end because it's Lowe's, but yeah. So this makes for a very long day, especially not knowing what's going on. What a debacle! What a debacle! Their thing was they were checking to see if this company had sent them any information to the effect that the load wasn't ready, which, at this point, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's not ready, because whether they sent the information or not, I'm still sitting here, and the money that you get paid for showing up for a canceled load doesn't even cover the fuel I've spent already. So I mean, you gotta laugh, because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Again, and it just is what it is. But again, I don't have any other options but the Schneider load board. And talking to the gentleman next door, talking to other people, there is more freight at Schneider. Some of it we never see, which I would think that your priority would be your IC drivers and your company drivers before you'd release freight to a third party. Just saying. You can defend it or not defend it, or say that's just, that's the way it works and blah, blah. Listen, guys like me come in here, we take on a big responsibility. And you would think the priority would be to make your IC and company drivers, a priority. Just saying. You can agree with that statement or not. I mean, if you're driving here and you got a truck payment through SFI and you're paying all these insurances and all this other stuff that goes along with it, you would hope that the company you're driving for looks at you as a priority. So that is what it is. You can take it. It's my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. So yeah. Again, and not to keep jumping back and forth, but things like this that are preventable. This is preventable. You can call it whatever you want to call it. This is preventable. Because of the fact that if this is an ongoing issue, which it sounds like it is, it's preventable. You can stop this from happening or lessen the effect of these problems if you know there's a problem. But if you choose to just keep moving forward and just let the chips fall where they may, this is the problem you run into, because this costs me money. This is my business. This isn't Schneider's business. Whenever this load gets released, Schneider's still going to make the money on it, because somebody's going to haul it, whether it's me or a company driver or another IC driver. Somebody's going to haul it. So yeah, it's funny. It is funny. But again, getting back to the, I'm beholding, I can only choose loads off of one board. And had I made a different decision, which again would have cost me money to do, I would be looking at a different load board situation, because it's not just what the company is offering to us as drivers. It's multiple approved brokers and Landstar, and there's more options than just one. Just the Landstar would be saying, this is what we have, here you go, find something. I can't look at any other load board but Schneider is posting freight for other drivers with other companies, third party, to get. You don't know these things coming in. As much research, they make a big deal out of how easy their load board is. And you know, the team and all this other good stuff. And then things like this happen. And again, you know, on the load board, there's nothing. There's nothing out there. Not until Monday, which is, you know, 3 more days from now. Or 2 days from now, 2.5 days at this point. So yeah, and you know, I appreciate the information about the YouTube driver that runs for Landstar, Dave215. Good information. The only thing is, when he's going through the load board, he goes quick because he knows it. It'd be nice if he'd slow down a little bit so you could really get a good idea of the rates. You know, I kept pausing it and then doing the math to see. And I will say, in a lot of instances, the rates were definitely better. And there was more of it. I mean, everywhere he went and searched, there was plenty of freight. Plenty of freight. I go on the load board right now. The only way I can find any volume of freight coming out of an area is if I do a 400-mile radius search. And them loads, they're paper loads coming out of southern Mississippi. They are heavy. It cost me a fortune in fuel to drive down to pick up a heavy load that's going to cost me a fortune of fuel. A fortune of fuel to go deliver. So needless to say, I don't really want to do that. I really don't want to do that. Because the loads, they don't pay that well. They really don't. It would be more or less just me doing something. It wouldn't really make me anything. So that makes no sense. I would rather just make my truck payment out of my own account for next week than move the truck and run for free, more or less, just to pay for fuel. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. I mean, it's now 10:41 Central Time, and we're still waiting to see if they can even get these loads released to be shipped. So and my response, I appreciate the comment. I understand what you said, but the reason I will not show the information from the friend of mine that gave it to me is because they didn't want to be put out there like that, and I get that, and I'm not going to do that unless they're comfortable with me doing that. So you cannot believe what I said. You can disregard what I said because I didn't show actual proof. But I'm not going to get on here and blatantly lie to create drama. When I'm telling you stuff that's going on that ain't good, it's because it's happening like it is right now. This is what I'm telling you. But I'm not going to come out here and make a video just because I'm bored and create drama or try to stir the pot just because I don't have nothing better to do. I made the video again. Schneider does put their loads out there for third parties. My big issue with that whole scenario wasn't necessarily that part of it. My biggest issue with that, which may not have come across the video, was the fact that someone I know who runs for another company, for one, can negotiate the rate, and for two, I looked at the rate on the load he was under at the time, and way better than what I'm making, way better than what I've seen here, and I don't understand that. I really don't. I I like Schneider. I like driving here. I like the company. I like how I've been treated for the most part. But I'm not a patsy. I'm not a patsy. I'm not going to sit out here and bleed orange and just take whatever's scraps are thrown my way. You know, these are the things I'm learning. I'm new to this. I'm 4.5 months into it. This is the first time I've ever selected freight off of a load board. So these are things I really didn't think about when I came in. I just didn't. When you're being told, hey, we got a load board, you get to pick your own freight. Hey, that's great, and it's been pretty good. I do like that freedom. I have no problem with that part of it. But when I'm competing with drivers for freight, and as I've talked to other drivers, this gentleman next door in particular, he has compared when he pulls up the load board, he has looked at it next to another IC driver that he knows, and what comes up isn't always kosher with one another. So there are discrepancies. There are discrepancies out there. I'm just saying, don't live your life blind, and don't accept the company answer for everything that you question as 100% truth. And again, that's nothing against Schneider. They're in this business to make money, and they're going to do it with what works best for them. Now, if it hurts a guy like me, is it really that big of a concern for them? No. Their name's not on the paperwork on this truck. Mine is. It is what it is. So, yeah. What are you going to do? Now, why did they change? What the hell? They just changed my ETA on my delivery side of this load that I don't even know I can get yet. So we're in here fiddling. Maybe they know something I don't know. Yeah. They just moved up my ETA for a load I can't even get. You gotta laugh. It's like, come on, nah? Really? You're gonna try to squeeze my window on me? On a load I'm sitting here and don't even know if I can even get yet. Makes sense. Oh. But yeah, that's my response to that. I get what you're saying. I really do, and I appreciate you, taking time to watch what you did watch. But I take my friendships seriously, and when I was given the information, it was done under the premise that I wouldn't blast out their information. And I'm not going to. If it makes me not look 100% credible, that's fine. That's fine. Because I would rather preserve my friendship than prove a point with a picture. And you don't know me from Adam, but if you watch my videos, I will tell you exactly the crap that happens out here. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not looking to recruit. I'm not looking to recruit anybody. So I'm not going to, sprinkle, powdered sugar on everything, hoping that I can get people to come over and make me money on a recruitment. That's not happening. I've never done that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not a poster boy for any company. no matter who they are. Now, if there's good points, I'll tell you. If there's bad points, I'll tell you. Is this necessarily? Well, it's somebody's fault, because it's either Lowe's, this company's fault, or Schneider's fault, or it's all three. I did my job. I booked the load, and I got here when I was supposed to, and I checked in before my appointment. I did my part. Somebody dropped the ball, because again, the way it's looking is this is not abnormal for this particular warehouse. This is actually happening often. So somebody dropped the ball to get me in this truck over here to sit with no expectation of even what's going to happen. So that's where I'm at. So the good, the bad, the ugly. A lot of times it's more bad and ugly than it is good. But it is what it is. So I appreciate you guys taking time. Be safe. We'll talk to you.